بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عم يتساءلون عن النبأ العظيم الذي هم فيه مختلفون كلا سيعلمون ثم كلا سيعلمون ألم نجعل الأرض مهادا والجبال أوتادا وخلقناكم أزواجا وجعلنا نومكم سباتا وجعلنا الليل لباسا وجعلنا النهار معاشا وبنينا فوقكم سبعا شدادا وجعلنا سراجا وهاجا وأنزلنا من المعصرات ماء ثجاجا لنخرج به حبا ونباتا وجنات ألفافا.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. Of what do they question one another? They question concerning the great tiding, that which they differ therein. Verily they shall soon come to know. Verily they shall soon come to know. What, have we not made the earth a wide expanse, and the mountains as belts? And we created you in pairs, and caused your sleep a rest, and caused the night a covering, and caused the day for your seeking livelihood. And we have built above you the seven firmaments, and we placed therein a lamp burning, and we send down from the rain clouds abundant water, so that we may produce therewith corn and vegetations, and gardens thick with trees.
إن يوم الفصل كان ميقاتا يوم ينفخ في الصور فتأتون أفواجا وفتحت السماء فكانت أبوابا وسيرت الجبال فكانت سرابا إن جهنم كانت مرصادا للطاغين مآبا لابثين فيها أحقابا لا يذوقون فيها بردا ولا شرابا إلا حميما وغساقا جزاء وفاقا إنهم كانوا لا يرجون حسابا وكذبوا بآياتنا كذابا وكل شيء أحصيناه كتابا فذوقوا فلن نزيدكم إلا عذابا.
Verily the day of decision has indeed its appointed time, the day when the trumpet shall be blown, and you shall come forth in huge groups, and the heavens shall be opened like doors, and the mountains set in motion, as if they are a mere vapor. Verily they will find the hell in waiting for the transgressors, the destination to abide therein for ages. They shall not taste therein cool or any drink, except boiling water and running pus, a recompense fitted to their evil deeds. Verily they look not forward to their reckoning, and they rejected our revelations as false. And we have recorded everything in a book. Taste then, and we shall only increase you in punishment.
إن للمتقين مفازا حدائق وأعنابا وكواعب أترابا وكأسا دهاقا لا يسمعون فيها لغوا ولا كذابا جزاء من ربك عطاء حسابا رب السماوات والأرض وما بينهما الرحمن لا يملكون منه خطابا يوم يقوم الروح والملائكة صفا لا يتكلمون إلا من أذن له الرحمن وقال صوابا ذلك اليوم الحق فمن شاء اتخذ إلى ربه مآبا إنا أنذرناكم عذابا قريبا يوم ينظر المرء ما قدمت يداه ويقول الكافر يا ليتني كنت ترابا.
Verily for the righteous there is a great achievement, gardens enclosed and vineyards, and companions of equal age, and an overflowing cup. They shall hear therein no vain words, or any falsehood, a reward from your Lord, a gift according to the reckoning from the Lord of the heavens and the earth, and what is in between two, the beneficent Allah. They shall not have power to argue with him. On the day the Spirit and the angels stand in lines, they shall not speak, except he whom the beneficent Allah has permitted, and he will say what is right. That is the sure day. Therefore whoso desires, let him take refuge to his Lord. Verily we have warned you of a punishment near at hand, the day when man shall see what his two hands have sent before, and when the disbeliever shall say, Oh, would that I were dust.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والنازعات غرقا والناشطات نشطا والسابحات سبحا فالسابقات سبقا فالمدبرات أمرا يوم ترجف الراجفة تتبعها الرادفة قلوب يومئذ واجفة أبصارها خاشعة يقولون أئنا لمردودون في الحافرة أئذا كنا عظاما نخرة قالوا تلك إذا كرة خاسرة فإنما هي زجرة واحدة فإذا هم بالساهرة.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, by the angels who tear out the souls of disbelievers with violence, and by those who gently release the souls of the blessed, and by those who fleet swiftly in the heavens, then those who overtake one another with a foremost speed, then those who submissively manage the affairs. On the day the quaking blast shall shake, and there will follow it the next blast. Hearts that day shall palpitate, their eyes shall be cast down. They shall say then, what, shall we indeed be returned to our former state? What, when we have become decayed bones? They shall say, that will be a return in vain. Verily it shall be but a single violent blast, when lo, they shall all be in the awakened state.
هل أتاك حديث موسى إذ ناداه ربه بالوادي المقدس طوى اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى فقل هل لك إلى أن تزكى وأهديك إلى ربك فتخشى فأراه الآية الكبرى فكذب وعصى ثم أدبر يسعى فحشر فنادى فقال أنا ربكم الأعلى فأخذه الله نكال الآخرة والأولى إن في ذلك لعبرة لمن يخشى.
Has not come to you the story of Moses? Recall, when his Lord called him in the holy valley Tuva, saying, Go, O Moses, to Pharaoh, verily he has transgressed the bounds, and say to him, Have you a desire to purify yourself? And I will guide you to your Lord, so that you may fear him. And he showed him the great sign, but he rejected and disobeyed. Then he turned his back hastily, and gathered the people, and proclaimed, and said, I am your Lord, the Most High. So seized him Allah with the punishment in the hereafter and the life before it. Verily in this there is a lesson to him who fears Allah.
أأنتم أشد خلقا أم السماء بناها رفع سمكها فسواها وأغطش ليلها وأخرج ضحاها والأرض بعد ذلك دحاها أخرج منها ماءها ومرعاها والجبال أرساها متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم فإذا جاءت الطامة الكبرى يوم يتذكر الإنسان ما سعى وبرزت الجحيم لمن يرى فأما من طغى وآثر الحياة الدنيا فإن الجحيم هي المأوى وأما من خاف مقام ربه ونهى النفس عن الهوى فإن الجنة هي المأوى. يسألونك عن الساعة أيان مرساها فيما أنت من ذكراها إلى ربك منتهاها إنما أنت منذر من يخشاها كأنهم يوم يرونها لم يلبثوا إلا عشية أو ضحاها.
Are you harder to create or the sky he has built? He raised its heights and established it, and he darkened its night and brought forth its light of day, and the earth. Afterwards he spread it out. He brought forth therefrom its waters and its pastures, and he set the mountains firm, a provision for you and your cattle. When the great calamity comes, the day when man shall remember what he had striven for, and the hell shall be displayed to him who sees it, then as for him who has transgressed the bounds and prefers the life of this world, then verily hell, that shall be his abode. And as for him who fears the standing of his Lord and forbids his soul from his inclinations, the garden of paradise, that shall be his refuge. They ask you concerning the hour, when will be its appointed time? By no means are you concerned with the declaration thereof. Unto your Lord is the knowledge of its final end. O Mohammad, you are only a warner to him who fears it. It shall seem to them on the day when they see it as though they stayed in their graves only a single evening or the following morning.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم عبس وتولى أن جاءه الأعمى وما يدريك لعله يزكى أو يذكر فتنفعه الذكرى أما من استغنى فأنت له تصدى وما عليك ألا يزكى وأما من جاءك يسعى وهو يخشى فأنت عنه تلهى كلا إنها تذكرة فمن شاء ذكره في صحف مكرمة مرفوعة مطهرة بأيدي سفرة كرام بررة قتل الإنسان ما أكفره من أي شيء خلقه من نطفة خلقه فقدره ثم السبيل يسره ثم أماته فأقبره ثم إذا شاء أنشره كلا لما يقض ما أمره
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful. He frowned and he turned away because there came to him the blind man. And what makes you to know that he would cleanse himself, or that he might receive message and the teaching might profit him? As for him who thinks himself self-sufficient, to him do you attend. It shall be no blame on you if he cleansed not himself. But as to him who comes to you striving in earnest, and he fears at heart, to him you pay no heed. Nay, indeed the Quran is a reminder, so whosoever wants, let him follow its guidance. This Quran is in books held in honor, exalted, purified, by the hands of the angelic scribes, noble, virtuous. Woe to man, how ungrateful is he! Of what thing did Allah create him? Of a sperm drop. He created him, then fixed its measure, and then he made easy the way for him. Then he causes him to die, and gets him buried. Then when he wills, he will again raise him to life. Nay, but man has not done what Allah had commanded him.
فلينظر الإنسان إلى طعامه أنا صببنا الماء صبا ثم شققنا الأرض شقا فأنبتنا فيها حبا وعنبا وقضبا وزيتونا ونخلا وحدائق غلبا وفاكهة وأبا متاعا لكم ولأنعامكم فإذا جاءت الصاخة يوم يفر المرء من أخيه وأمه وأبيه وصاحبته وبنيه لكل امرئ منهم يومئذ شأن يغنيه وجوه يومئذ مسفرة ضاحكة مستبشرة ووجوه يومئذ عليها غبرة ترهقها قترة أولئك هم الكفرة الفجرة.
Then let man look at his food, that it is we who pour down water in abundance. Then we split the earth in fragments, and we cause to grow therein the grain, and grapes and the vegetables, the olive and the palm, and gardens enclosed thick with trees, and fruits and the herbage, a provision for you and your cattle. But when comes the deafening trumpet blast, that day man will flee from his own brother, and from his mother, and from his father, and from his wife and his children. For every man of them on that day will have enough concern of his own to make him heedless of others. There shall be faces on that day radiant, laughing, rejoicing, and there shall be faces on that day gloomy. Darkness shall cover them. These are they who are the displeased, the wicked.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا الشمس كورت وإذا النجوم انكدرت وإذا الجبال سجرت وإذا العشار عطلت وإذا الوحوش حشرت وإذا البحار سجرت وإذا النفوس زوجت وإذا الموءودة سئلت بأي ذنب قتلت وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, when the sun shall be folded up, and when the stars shall be darkened, and when the mountains shall be removed as scattered dust, and when the pregnant camel shall be neglected, and when the wild beasts are gathered together, and when the oceans shall be boiled over, and when souls shall be reunited with their bodies, and when the female baby buried alive shall be questioned, for what sin of hers was she put to death, and when the pages of deeds of mankind shall be opened, and when the sky shall be removed, and when the hell shall be made to blaze, and when the garden paradise shall be brought near, then every soul shall know what it has presented.
فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس إنه لقول رسول كريم ذي قوة عند ذي العرش مكين مطاع ثم أمين وما صاحبكم بمجنون ولقد رآه بالأفق المبين وما هو على الغيب بضنين وما هو بقول شيطان رجيم فأين تذهبون إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين لمن شاء منكم أن يستقيم وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله رب العالمين.
And I swear by the turning planets, moving swiftly and hiding themselves, and by the night when it ends, and by the dawn when it brightens. Verily the Quran is the word brought by the most honorable angelic messenger, gifted with mighty power, honored in the presence of the Lord of the universe, the obeyed one by all creation, and faithful to his trust. And O you people, your companion Mohammad is our messenger. He is not gone mad. And indeed he saw Gabriel, the messenger angel, on the clear horizon, and he does not withhold grudgingly a knowledge of the unseen, and it is not the word of the accursed Satan. Whither then are you going? The Quran is not but a reminder to all the worlds, unto whomsoever of you who wills to go straight, and you cannot will, except that wills Allah, the Lord of the worlds.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا السماء انفطرت وإذا الكواكب انتثرت وإذا البحار فجرت وإذا القبور بعثرت علمت نفس ما قدمت وأخرت يا أيها الإنسان ما غرك بربك الكريم الذي خلقك فسواك فعدلك في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك كلا بل تكذبون بالدين وإن عليكم لحافظين كراما كاتبين يعلمون ما تفعلون إن الأبرار لفي نعيم وإن الفجار لفي جحيم يصلونها يوم الدين وما هم عنها بغائبين وما أدراك ما يوم الدين ثم ما أدراك ما يوم الدين يوم لا تملك نفس لنفس شيئا والأمر يومئذ لله.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, when the sky is split asunder, and when the stars are scattered, and when the seas are merged together, and when the graves be overturned, then each soul shall know what it has sent forth and left behind. O you man, what has deceived you concerning your Lord, the most gracious one? He who created you and shaped you justly proportioned, having put you together in whatsoever form he willed. Nay, but you deny the reckoning. Yet there are angelic guardians watching over you, noble riders who know whatever you do. Surely the righteous shall be in bounteous bliss, and surely the wicked shall be in the flaming fire. They shall be roasted therein on the day of judgment, and they shall not be able to absent from it. And what will make you understand what that day of judgment is? And once again, what will make you understand what that day of judgment is? It is the day whereon no soul shall be of any benefit to another soul, and that day the command shall belong to Allah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويل للمطففين الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون ألا يظن أولئك أنهم مبعوثون ليوم عظيم يوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين كلا إن كتاب الفجار لفي سجين وما أدراك ما سجين كتاب مرقوم ويل يومئذ للمكذبين الذين يكذبون بيوم الدين وما يكذب به إلا كل معتد أثيم إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا قال أساطير الأولين كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون كلا إنهم عن ربهم يومئذ لمحجوبون ثم إنهم لصال الجحيم ثم يقال هذا الذي كنتم به تكذبون.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, woe to those who deal in fraud, those who, when they take the measure from the people, demand it full, but when they measure unto them or they weigh for them, they give less. Do they not think that they shall be raised up unto an awful day, on the day when mankind shall stand before the Lord of the universe? Nay, the record of the wicked has been preserved in the Sijjin. And what will make you know what Sijjin is? It is a book written. Woe on that day to the beliers, those who deny the day of judgment, and none denies it except a transgressor, sinner. When our revelations are recited to him, he says, these are fables of the ancients. Nay, rather what they were earning has rested upon their hearts. Nay, verily that day they shall be shut out away from the mercy of their Lord. Verily they shall be roasted into the flaming fire. Then it will be said to them, this is what you had called a lie.
كلا إن كتاب الأبرار لفي عليين وما أدراك ما عليون كتاب مرقوم يشهده المقربون إن الأبرار لفي نعيم على الأرائك ينظرون تعرف في وجوههم نظرة النعيم يسقون من رحيق مختوم ختامه مسك وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون ومزاجه من تسنيم عينا يشرب بها المقربون إن الذين أجرموا كانوا من الذين آمنوا يضحكون وإذا مروا بهم يتغامزون وإذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم انقلبوا فكهين وإذا رأوهم قالوا إن هؤلاء لضالون وما أرسلوا عليهم حافظين فاليوم الذين آمنوا من الكفار يضحكون على الأرائك ينظرون هل ثوب الكفار ما كانوا يفعلون.
Nay, the record of the righteous shall be in the Iliyin. And what will make you know what the Iliyin is? It is a book written, witnessed by those who are the near ones to Allah. Verily the righteous ones shall be in bliss, reclining on couches, looking on. You, O Muhammad, will recognize in their faces the delightful radiance of the bliss. They shall be given a drink of pure wine, sealed, the seal being of musk, for that may aspire all those who wish to aspire for bliss. And mixed therewith shall be the water of tasneem, a spring from which drink those brought near to Allah. And verily they who are the guilty ones used to laugh at those who believed. And when they passed by them, they winked at one another. And when they returned to their people, they returned jesting. And when they saw them, they said, Verily these are the straying ones, while they were not sent over them to be the watchers. So today those who believe shall laugh at the disbelievers reclining on couches looking on. Shall not the disbelievers be rewarded for what they used to do?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا السماء انشقت وأذنت لربها وحقت وإذا الأرض مدت وألقت ما فيها وتخلت وأذنت لربها وحقت يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه فسوف يحاسب حسابا يسيرا وينقلب إلى أهله مسرورا وأما من أوتي كتابه وراء ظهره فسوف يدعو ثبورا ويصلى سعيرا إنه كان في أهله مسرورا إنه ظن أن لن يحور بلى إن ربه كان به بصيرا.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, when the sky shall split asunder, and it shall hear the command of its Lord, and as it ought to do, and when the earth shall be spread out, and shall throw out whatever is in it, and become empty, and it shall hear the command of its Lord, and as it ought to do. O man, well, you strive hard to get closer to your Lord with the striving, and thus you will meet him. And he who is given his book in his right hand, soon shall his account be taken by an easy reckoning, and he shall return to his people delighted. And he who is given his book from behind his back, he shall invoke destruction, and shall be thrown to the flaming fire. Well, he was joyous among his people. Well, he thought that he would never return to Allah. Yea, verily his Lord was always watchful of him.
فلا أقسم بالشفق والليل وما وسق والقمر إذا اتسق لتركبن طبقا عن طبق فما لهم لا يؤمنون وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون بل الذين كفروا يكذبون والله أعلم بما يوعون فبشرهم بعذاب أليم إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم أجر غير ممنون.
And I swear by the twilight, and by the night and what it brings together, and by the moon when it is at the full, that you shall certainly ride from stage after stage. But what has happened to them that they believe not? And when the Quran is recited to them, they prostrate not in obeisance. But those who disbelieve will deny the truth. And verily Allah knows best what they hide in their hearts. So announce to them the tidings of a painful doom, except those who believe and do good deeds. For them shall be an unending reward.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسماء ذات البروج واليوم الموعود وشاهد ومشهود قتل أصحاب الأخدود النار ذات الوقود إذ هم عليها قعود وهم على ما يفعلون بالمؤمنين شهود وما نقموا منهم إلا أن يؤمنوا بالله العزيز الحميد الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض والله على كل شيء شهيد إن الذين فتنوا المؤمنين والمؤمنات ثم لم يتوبوا فلهم عذاب جهنم ولهم عذاب الحريق.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, by the sky adorned with big stars, and by the promised day, by the witness and that which is the subject of witness, that perished were the fellows of the ditch of the fire with fuel, when they sat by it, and were witnesses to what they did to the believers. They ill-treated the believers for no other reason than that they believe in Allah, the Almighty, the Most Praised. He, to whom belongs the kingdom of the heavens and the earth, and Allah is witness over all things. Verily those who persecute the believer man and the believer woman, and then they repent not, for them shall be the torment of the hell, and for them is a burning torture.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار ذلك الفوز الكبير إن بطش ربك لشديد إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد وهو الغفور الودود ذو العرش المجيد فعال لما يريد هل أتاك حديث الجنود فرعون وثمود بل الذين كفروا في تكذيب والله من ورائهم محيط بل هو قرآن مجيد في لوح محفوظ.
Verily those who believe and do righteous deeds, for them shall be the gardens beneath which flow rivers. That shall be a great achievement. Verily the grip of your Lord is stern. Verily it is He who creates everything and causes it to return. He is the much forgiver, the most loving one, Lord of the throne of glory, the mighty doer of all that He intends. Has not come to you the story of the armies of Pharaoh and Thamud? Yet those who disbelieve are engaged in denial, while Allah is encompassing them from behind. Nay, it is a glorious Quran, inscribed in the guarded tablet.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسماء والطارق وما أدراك ما الطارق النجم الثاقب إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق خلق من ماء دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب إنه على رجعه لقادر يوم تبلى السرائر فما له من قوة ولا ناصر والسماء ذات الرجع والأرض ذات الصدع إنه لقول فصل وما هو بالهزل إنهم يكيدون كيدا وأكيد كيدا فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, by the sky and the nightly visitant. What will make you understand what the nightly visitant is? It is the star shining brightly. There is no soul but has a watcher over it. Let man then reflect of what he is created. He is created from a water ejected, coming forth from between the backbone and the ribs. Verily Allah is able to bring him back to life. On the day when all things hidden shall be tried, then for him shall not be any power and nor any helper. By the firmament, endued with rotation, and by the earth, endued with splitting. Verily the Quran is a decisive word, and it is not a jest. Verily they are plotting against the truth a plan, and I am too plotting against them a plan. So respect the disbelievers, leave them alone a while.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح اسم ربك الأعلى الذي خلق فسوى والذي قدر فهدى والذي أخرج المرعى فجعله غثاء أحوى سنقرئك فلا تنسى إلا ما شاء الله إنه يعلم الجهر وما يخفى ونيسرك لليسرى فذكر إن نفعت الذكرى سيذكر من يخشى ويتجنبها الأشقى الذي يصلى النار الكبرى ثم لا يموت فيها ولا يحيا قد أفلح من تزكى وذكر اسم ربه فصلى بل تؤثرون الحياة الدنيا والآخرة خير وأبقى إن هذا لفي الصحف الأولى صحف إبراهيم وموسى.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, glory the name of your Lord, the Most High, who has created and shaped all things, and who has decreed laws and granted guidance, and who brings forth the herbage, and then reduces it to dusty stubble. And we make you to read Quran so that you should not forget, save what Allah may will. Verily He knows all that is manifest and all that is hidden. We shall make it easy for you to follow simple path. Therefore you keep on reminding as long as it is of benefit. He who fears his Lord will mind the warning, and the most unfortunate one will avoid it, who shall roast in the great fire. Then he shall neither die therein, nor shall he live in it. Indeed, he alone succeeds who purifies himself, and remembers the name of his Lord, and prays. Nay, you prefer the life of this world, although the hereafter is better and more lasting. Verily this is in the ancient scriptures, the scriptures of Abraham and Moses.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية تسقى من عين آنية ليس لهم طعام إلا من ضريع لا يسمن ولا يغني من جوع وجوه يومئذ ناعمة لسعيها راضية في جنة عالية لا تسمع فيها لاغية فيها عين جارية فيها سرر مرفوعة وأكواب موضوعة ونمارق مصفوفة وزرابي مبثوثة أفلا ينظرون إلى الإبل كيف خلقت وإلى السماء كيف رفعت وإلى الجبال كيف نصبت وإلى الأرض كيف سطحت فذكر إنما أنت مذكر لست عليهم بمسيطر إلا من تولى وكفر فيعذبه الله العذاب الأكبر إن إلينا إيابهم ثم إن علينا حسابهم.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, has there come to you the tidings of the overwhelming event? Some faces on that day shall be humiliated, laboring tired, roasting at a blazing fire, given to drink from a boiling spring. There shall not be any food for them except the bitter thorn fruit, which will neither nourish nor give any relief from hunger. Other faces on that day shall be happy, well pleased with their efforts past, in a high garden, where they shall hear no vain talk. Therein will be a spring flowing, therein will be raised couches, and ready placed goblets, and ranged cushions, and carpets spread forth. Do they not say to the camels how they are created, and to the sky how it is raised, and to the mountains how they are set up, and to the earth how it is spread out? So you keep on reminding. You are only a reminder. You are not over them a warden. But whosoever turns back and disbelieves, then Allah will torment him with a great torment. Verily to us is their return, then unto us is their reckoning.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والفجر وليال عشر والشفع والوتر والليل إذا يسر هل في ذلك قسم لذي حجر ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بعاد إرم ذات العماد التي لم يخلق مثلها في البلاد وثمود الذين جابوا الصخر بالواد وفرعون ذي الأوتاد الذين طغوا في البلاد فأكثروا فيها الفساد فصب عليهم ربك سوط عذاب إن ربك لبالمرصاد.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, by the dawn, and by the 10 secret nights, and by the even and the odd, and by the night when it departs. Indeed, there is in this an oath for those who possess understanding. Have not you seen how did your Lord deal with the people of Ad, of the city of Iram, with tall statures, the like of which were not created in any of the other cities, and the tribe Thamud, who hewed out the rocks in the valley, and Pharaoh, the owner of the stakes, who all transgressed in the cities, so they multiplied corruption therein. Therefore your Lord inflicted on them the disaster of his punishment. Verily your Lord is ever watchful.
فأما الإنسان إذا ما ابتلاه ربه فأكرمه ونعمه فيقول ربي أكرمن وأما إذا ما ابتلاه فقدر عليه رزقه فيقول ربي أهانن كلا بل لا تكرمون اليتيم ولا تحاضون على طعام المسكين وتأكلون التراث أكلا لما وتحبون المال حبا جما كلا إذا دكت الأرض دكا دكا وجاء ربك والملك صفا صفا وجيء يومئذ بجهنم يومئذ يتذكر الإنسان وأنى له الذكرى يقول يا ليتني قدمت لحياتي فيومئذ لا يعذب عذابه أحد ولا يوثق وثاقه أحد يا أيتها النفس المطمئنة ارجعي إلى ربك راضية مرضية فادخلي في عبادي وادخلي جنتي.
And as for man, whenever his Lord tries him by honoring him and is bounteous unto him, then he says, My Lord has honored me. But whenever he tries him by straightening his sustenance, then he says, My Lord has disgraced me. Nay, rather you honor not the orphan, nor urge you one another to feed the poor, and you devour the inheritance greedily, and you love wealth with exceeding love. Nay, when the earth shall be crushed into small pieces, and your Lord comes, and his angels, rank upon rank, and the hell shall be made to appear that day, and that day man shall get awakened. But how shall that awakening profit him? He shall say, Oh, would that I had sent before good deeds for this life of mine. So on that day none shall torment any like his torment, and none shall bind as he then will bind. It will be said to some, O you peaceful soul, return to your Lord, well pleased with him, and his being well pleased with you. Thus enter you among my servants, and enter into my garden.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لا أقسم بهذا البلد وأنت حل بهذا البلد ووالد وما ولد لقد خلقنا الإنسان في كبد أيحسب أن لن يقدر عليه أحد يقول أهلكت مالا لبدا أيحسب أن لم يره أحد ألم نجعل له عينين ولسانا وشفتين وهديناه النجدين فلاقتحم العقبة وما أدراك ما العقبة فك رقبة أو إطعام في يوم ذي مسغبة يتيما ذا مقربة أو مسكينا ذا مقربة ثم كان من الذين آمنوا وتواصوا بالصبر وتواصوا بالمرحمة أولئك أصحاب الميمنة والذين كفروا بآياتنا هم أصحاب المشأمة عليهم نار مؤصدة.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, I swear by this city, and you, Muhammad, have been settler in this city, and the ties of parent and child. Indeed, we have created man to dwell among hardship. Does he think that none has power over him? He says, I have wasted wealth enormous. Does he think that no one sees him? Have we not made for him 2 eyes and a tongue and 2 lips? And we showed him the 2 highways of good and evil. But he has made no attempt on the path that is steep. And what would make you understand what the path that is steep is? It is to free a slave, or to feed in the day of hunger an orphan near of kin, or some poor one lying in the dust. Besides this, to be of those who believe, and enjoin steadfastness on each other, and enjoin on each other compassion. These are the fellows of the right hand. And those who disbelieve in our revelations, they are the fellows of the left hand. On them shall be the fire closing round.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها فألهمها فجورها وتقواها قد أفلح من زكاها وقد خاب من دساها كذبت ثمود بطغواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, by the sun and its brightness, and by the moon when it follows sun, and by the day when it displays its light, and by the night when it conceals it, and by the sky and him who built it, and by the earth and him who spread it, and by a soul and him who proportioned it, and inspired it with its impurity and purity. Indeed, successful is he who purifies his soul, and he is indeed a failure who corrupted his soul. The tribe of Thamud denied the truth due to their rebellious pride, when the most corrupt among them rose up. But Saleh, the messenger of Allah, said to them, It is the she-camel of Allah, leave her and its drink. But they rejected him and hamstrung her. So their Lord crushed them for their sins and leveled them, and he fears not anyone against the consequences they met.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والليل إذا يغشى والنهار إذا تجلى وما خلق الذكر والأنثى إن سعيكم لشتى فأما من أعطى واتقى وصدق بالحسنى فسنيسره لليسرى وأما من بخل واستغنى وكذب بالحسنى فسنيسره للعسرى وما يغني عنه ماله إذا تردى إن علينا للهدى وإن لنا للآخرة والأولى فأنذرتكم نارا تلظى لا يصلاها إلا الأشقى الذي كذب وتولى وسيجنبها الأتقى الذي يؤتي ماله يتزكى وما لأحد عنده من نعمة تجزى إلا ابتغاء وجه ربه الأعلى ولسوف يرضى.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, by the night as it conceals the light, by the day as it appears in glory, and him who created the male and the female. Verily, O men, you strive in various ways. Then as for him who gives alms and fears Allah and believes in the truth most fair, we will make easy for him the path to bliss. And as for him who acted greedy miser and deems himself independent and disbelieves in goodness, we will make easy for him the path to affliction, and his wealth will not save him when he perishes. It is indeed for us to grace you for guidance, and verily unto us belong the hereafter and the beginning. So I warn you of the flaming fire. None shall be roast therein except the wicked ones. He who rejects the truth and turns his back to it, and most devoted shall be removed far from it. He who spends his wealth on others so that he might grow in purity, and confers no favor on anyone for which a reward is expected in return, except only seeks the pleasure of his Lord, the Most High, and soon shall he be well pleased.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, O Muhammad, by the morning brightness, by the night when it darkens, your Lord has not abandoned you, nor has he been displeased with you. And verily the hereafter is better for you than the present life, and soon will your Lord give you that you shall be well pleased. Did he not find you an orphan and sheltered you? And he found you in loss, and he gave you guidance. And he found you in need, and made you independent. So to an orphan oppress not, and as to the beggar, rebuke him not. And as to the bounties of your Lord, you declare them to others.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, O Muhammad, have we not opened for you your breast, and we have taken off from you your burden, which weighed down your back, and we have exalted your fame. Really, along with every hardship there is relief. Certainly, along with every hardship there is relief. So when you are free from your obligations, remain steadfast, and turn all your attention to your Lord.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد الأمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل سافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, by the fig and the olive, by the Mount Sinai, and by this city declared safe. Indeed, we created man in the best structure, then we reverted him to the lowest of the low. Except those who believe and do good deeds, for them shall be an unending reward. O man, after this, what makes you still deny the day of judgment? Is not Allah the judge of the judges?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم كلا إن الإنسان ليطغى أن رآه استغنى إن إلى ربك رجعا أرأيت الذي ينهى عبدا إذا صلى أرأيت إن كان على الهدى أو أمر بالتقوى أرأيت إن كذب وتولى ألم يعلم بأن الله يرى كلا لئن لم ينته لنسفعا بالناصية ناصية كاذبة خاطئة فليدع ناديه سندع الزبانية كلا لا تطعه واسجد واقترب.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, read, O Muhammad, in the name of thy Lord, who has created everything. He has created man from a clot. Read, O Muhammad, and thy Lord is most bountiful. He who taught the use of pen, he taught man that which he knew not. Nay, but verily man is rebellious, as he thinks himself self-sufficient. Verily to thy Lord is the return. Have you seen him who forbids a servant of ours when he prays? Have you seen if he is himself guided or enjoined righteousness? Have you seen if he denies the truth and turns his back? Does he not know that Allah sees? Nay, but if he desist not, we shall surely drag him by the forelock, a lying sinful forelock. Then let him call his associates for help. We too will call the angels of the hell. Nay, you obey not him. Prostrate in obeisance to your Lord, and bring yourself closer to Allah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أنزلناه في ليلة القدر وما أدراك ما ليلة القدر ليلة القدر خير من 1000 شهر تنزل الملائكة والروح فيها بإذن ربهم من كل أمر سلام هي حتى مطلع الفجر.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, verily we reveal the Quran in the night of power. And what will make you know what the night of power is? The night of power is better than 1,000 months. The angels and the Spirit descend therein by the command of their Lord with decrees of all affairs. That night is peace until the rising of the dawn.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لم يكن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين منفكين حتى تأتيهم البينة رسول من الله يتلو صحفا مطهرة فيها كتب قيمة وما تفرق الذين أوتوا الكتاب إلا من بعد ما جاءتهم البينة وما أمروا إلا ليعبدوا الله مخلصين له الدين حنفاء ويقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة وذلك دين القيمة إن الذين كفروا من أهل الكتاب والمشركين في نار جهنم خالدين فيها أولئك هم شر البرية إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات أولئك هم خير البرية جزاؤهم عند ربهم جنات عدن تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه ذلك لمن خشي ربه.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, those who disbelieved from among the people of the book and the idolaters could not have separated themselves from the falsehood until came to them the clear evidence, a messenger from Allah reciting to them the purified pages, wherein there are eternal scriptures. And those who were given the book differed not until the clear proof had come to them, and they were only commanded that they should worship Allah alone in perfect sincerity, keeping religion pure for Him, and that they should establish prayer and give away the poor rate, and that is the right faith. Verily those who disbelieve from among the people of the book and the idolaters shall be in the fire of hell to abide therein, and it is they who are the worst of creatures. Verily those who believe and do good deeds, it is they who are the best of creatures. Their recompense with their Lord shall be gardens everlasting, beneath which flow rivers to abide therein forever. Allah will be well pleased with them, and they will be well pleased with Allah. That is for him who fears his Lord.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا زلزلت الأرض زلزالها وأخرجت الأرض أثقالها وقال الإنسان ما لها يومئذ تحدث أخبارها بأن ربك أوحى لها يومئذ يصدر الناس أشتاتا ليروا أعمالهم فمن يعمل مثقال ذرة خيرا يره ومن يعمل مثقال ذرة شرا يره.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, when the earth shall quake with her terrible quaking, and the earth throws out her burdens, and man shall say, what has happened to her? On that day she shall relate her news that your Lord has inspired her. On that day shall come out people from their graves in scattered groups, to be shown their own deeds. Then whosoever has done an atom's weight of good shall see it, and whosoever has done an atom's weight of evil shall see it.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعاديات ضبحا فالموريات قدحا فالمغيرات صبحا فأثرن به نقعا فبسطن به جمعا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود وإنه على ذلك لشهيد وإنه لحب الخير لشديد أفلا يعلم إذا بعثر ما في القبور وحصل ما في الصدور إن ربهم بهم يومئذ لخبير.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, by the snorting chargers, and the striking sparks of fire, and raiding at morning, and blazing a trail of dust, and penetrate forthwith into the midst of the foe. Verily man is ungrateful to his Lord, and verily to that Allah is a witness, and verily man is violent in the love of wealth. Does he not know that what is in the graves shall be overthrown, and what is in the breasts shall be brought to light? Verily their Lord that day shall be fully aware of them.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم القارعة ما القارعة وما أدراك ما القارعة يوم يكون الناس كالفراش المبثوث وتكون الجبال كالعهن المنفوش فأما من ثقلت موازينه فهو في عيشة راضية وأما من خفت موازينه فأمه هاوية وما أدراك ما هي نار حامية.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, the day of striking calamity. What is the striking calamity? And what makes you know what the striking calamity is? The day when mankind shall become like scattered moths, and the mountains shall become like carded wool, Then as for him whose scales with good deeds are heavy, he shall be in a happy state of life. And as for him whose scales with good deeds are light, his home shall be Haviya. And what makes you know what Haviya is? It is a blazing fire.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألهاكم التكاثر حتى زرتم المقابر كلا سوف تعلمون ثم كلا سوف تعلمون كلا لو تعلمون علم اليقين لترون الجحيم ثم لترونها عين اليقين ثم لتسألن يومئذ عن النعيم.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, O people, the worldly desires of abundance absorbs you until you come to the graves. But nay, soon shall you know. Again nay, soon shall you know. Nay, would that you knew it with the knowledge of certainty, that you shall surely see the hellfire. Then you shall certainly see it with the vision of certainty. Then you shall be called to account that day for the bounties of life.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, by the time, verily man is in loss, except those who believe and do righteous deeds, and enjoin upon one another to truth, and enjoin upon one another patience in adversity.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ويل لكل همزة لمزة الذي جمع مالا وعدده يحسب أن ماله أخلده كلا لينبذن في الحطمة وما أدراك ما الحطمة نار الله الموقدة التي تطلع على الأفئدة إنها عليهم مؤصدة في عمد ممددة.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, woe to every slanderer, backbiter, who gathers wealth and hoards it. He thinks that his wealth will make him live forever. Nay, verily he shall be thrown into the hutama. And what makes you know what the hutama is? It is the fire Allah has kindled, which shall mount above the hearts. It shall close upon them in outstretched columns.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيدهم في تضليل وأرسل عليهم طيرا أبابيل ترميهم بحجارة من سجيل فجعلهم كعصف مأكول.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, have you not seen how your Lord dealt with the fellows of the elephant? Did he not cause their evil plots to fail? And he sent against them flight of birds, striking them with stones of baked clay, thus turned them like straw grass eaten up by cattle.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, for the protection of the Quraysh, their protection during their journey in the winter and the summer. So let them worship the Lord of this house, He who fed them against hunger and secured them against fear.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, have you seen him who denies the final judgment? That is he who turns down the orphan and encourages not others to feed the poor. So woe to those worshippers who are neglectful of their prayer, who do a good deed only to show off, and also withhold all the necessities from needy people.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا أعطيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, verily we have bestowed on you Kauthar, so pray unto thy Lord, and offer sacrifice. Verily he who hates you shall be the one cut off in his progeny.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل يا أيها الكافرون لا أعبد ما تعبدون ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد ولا أنا عابد ما عبدتم ولا أنتم عابدون ما أعبد لكم دينكم ولي دين.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, say, O Muhammad, all you rejectors of the faith, I worship not that which you worship, nor are you the worshippers of that God which I worship, and I shall not be a worshipper of that which you have worshipped, nor will you be the worshipper of that God which I worship. To you be your faith, and to me my faith.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, when there comes the help of Allah and victory, and you see people entering the religion of Allah in crowds, then celebrate the praise of thy Lord, and seek His forgiveness, for verily He is much turning merciful.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم تبت يدا أبي لهب وتب ما أغنى عنه ماله وما كسب سيصلى نارا ذات لهب وامرأته حمالة الحطب في جيدها حبل من مسد.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, hands of Abu Lahab perish he himself. His wealth availed him not, nor what he earned. Soon he shall burn in the flaming fire, and so to his wife, the bearer of the firewood. Around her neck shall be a cord of twisted rope.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, say, He is Allah, the one only, Allah, the eternal absolute. He begets not, nor was He begotten, and there is none that could be compared with Him.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, say, I seek refuge with the Lord of Dawn, from the evil of what He has created, and from the evil of the dark night when it overtakes, and from the evil of those who practice witchcraft, and from the evil of the envious when he envies.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, say, I seek refuge with the Lord of mankind, the King of mankind, the Lord of mankind, from the evil of the sneaking whisperer, who whispers into the hearts of mankind, from among jinn and among mankind.
صدق الله العظيم.
The beneficent Allah has spoken the truth.
اللهم ارحمنا بالقرآن العظيم واجعله لنا إماما ونورا وهدى ورحمة. اللهم ذكرنا منه ما نسينا وعلمنا منه ما جهلنا وارزقنا تلاوته آناء الليل وآناء النهار واجعله لنا حجة يا رب العالمين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
O Allah, confer Thy grace on me through the magnificent Quran. Make it for me a book of instruction and evidence, light, guidance, and mercy. Grant me the honor of reciting it day and night, and make it an argument and proof for me, O Lord and Sustainer of all the worlds. Glorified be Thy Lord, the Lord of Majesty, exalted far above from that which they associate with Him, and peace be upon the message bearers, and all praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds.